So hi everybody, welcome to today's NBS webinar, Specifying Manufacturer Systems and Products. Webinar today will last around 50 minutes. All of the attendees' microphones are muted, but please ask questions, put feedback in using the sort of chat box, the Q&A facility provided. Today I'm joined by Peter Rhodes, National Sector Manager, Building Design at Dulux Trade and Dulux Decorator Centre. There's going to be two parts to this presentation. First, from myself, looking at how MBS helps specifiers specify manufactured products. We're going to do that in three parts. First of all, having a look just at well-structured product information. The second part, we'll look at what you can actually do with that well-structured information. So what's the power of getting a really nice structure of that technical information, and then how we help specifiers drop it into a specification or 3D design model. So we'll start with my section. Yeah, hi. So just a short presentation from me today, and then we'll jump across and move on to Peter's session. But the first thing I'd like to show is just how we have standardized data structure for any product on the system, really, on MBS source across 1,200 manufacturers now. So I'm just going to demonstrate two completely different types of products, but how the page that you land on is broadly the same. So I'm just going to search for gas barrier membrane, and you see you're getting lots of different results, all classified slightly different. This is MBS source, of course. Now let's pick a good example. I'll pick one that does have a BBA certificate. So we'll jump across and look at this plastic sheet gas barrier from the manufacturer Visqueen. So if we jump in here, for the users of MBS source, this page structure becomes very familiar. So just starting at the top, it's always classified to uniclass without actually putting the numbers in the user's face, but you see that's a plastic sheet, which is within plastic membranes, which is sheet materials. And then right at the top there, you've got the name of the product, and you've got the ability, a bit like you do on eBay or Amazon, just to copy the URL to the clipboard. So by clicking that little link there, you can then send that link to anyone. It's nice and short. You could put it in a spreadsheet, in a 3D model, in a database, where have you, and it'll always resolve back to that page at that point in time. So just jump across there, that's there. And another thing that's really important on every product page is just confirming the last time the manufacturer verified this information. So you don't be thinking, oh, maybe I want to specify this plastic sheet in the project, but the manufacturer maybe hasn't looked at it for 5, 6, 7 years. So you can see quite clearly here, the manufacturer of Visqueen's looked at this 2 months ago and said, this product's still available. This is the correct technical information. And we just have a little traffic light system there. Not too scientific, just basically saying a green light means last 6 months, orange 6 to 12. And we like to think that source is a bit the community will contact the manufacturer and push, and we'll just keep everything as accurate and as up to date as possible. See clearly who the manufacturer is and the contact details front and center. So if you do have any technical questions, if you do want any technical support, that's there at your fingertips immediately there. So you can ask the manufacturer any question that's gonna drop through, or you can give them a ring or what have you. And then once you've got the top of the page, just close this box down. You have images of the product. You can have 1 image, 2, 3, 4 images. You can have little videos there now as well, so you can actually scroll through and see what that product looks like. And then right at the top, and this came the recommendations from CCPI, the Morel review, etc., is the importance of third-party certification. So right at the top, they say, look, lower down is what the manufacturer is saying in terms of its technical performance of the product. But if they've got any third-party certification, that's there right at the top. And that could be there at a product level, or it could be certification at a company level, like 9001, 14001, etc. And you can jump and sort of download that certification at the bottom of the page. Moving down a little bit further, you've got little jumps further down the page if you wish. We'll come back to adding things to specifications or our models as well. But another thing we thought was really important, this isn't a place to sort of market your products, it's a place where you can like factually put the technical information there for specifiers, is the guidance on application at the top. So what is it suitable for? How should it be positioned? But equally, what isn't it suitable for? So this product is not intended to be used in the situations X, Y, and Z. So you've got that full confidence. If I'm using this plastic sheet, you're using it in the right context. And then you get a bit of support information. And then you come into some generic properties. And whether this is a radiator, a ceiling tile, a paving slab, you'll always have color, finish, material, shape, length, width information on the warranty. And the terminology here aligns with that sort of core generic terminology in the Kobe data schema. So you've got that there. Then you get the classification. So whether you're specifying in uniclass or specifying in common arrangement of work sections, full version or small works version, you can see exactly where that should live in the specification and what you should put in your cross-references in any drawings. And then the bit that's different between, say, a radiator and a plastic sheet are the specific properties. And where we get these specific properties from is the NBS chorus clause. So if I jump across the NBS chorus here and go to the generic clause for plastic sheets, this is what our NBS specifiers see. This template structure here for plastic sheets, which has all been authored and maintained by our technical authors at NBS, my colleagues. You see the guidance on the right-hand side, looking at the relevant standards that define plastic sheet sort of technical characteristics for projects. In the UK, that structure there is what is used for every single manufacturer that does plastic sheets on NBS source. So things like material, purpose, tensile strength. If I jump back across the chorus, you've got material, purpose, tensile strength. And that's sort of creating that level playing field so all manufacturers can come and present their technical information in the same way. And then moving further down the page, some manufacturers have things like BIM objects, installation manuals, O&M manuals, etc., over and above like that core set of technical information. So just to prove that structure is the same, I'm going to pick like a wildly different product. I search for smoke alarm. Let's just find a smoke alarm here. You're going to see that same structure with the exception of the sort of specific properties. So you've got your classification at the top, you can contact the manufacturer, you've got the information that's been verified, front and center at the top if they have a third-party certification, and there's a copy of the PDF, things like when it was first issued, last issued, expiry date as well. You can download that and put it in your sort of project file. Let's just come back to that smoke alarm again. And then moving down the page there's guidance on application. The words are obviously completely different. Application of a smoke alarm is very different to an application of a plastic sheet. And then moving a little bit further down, you get the description. You come down to those standard generic properties, color, material, shape, size, length, width, etc. And then you get into the specific properties as we go that little bit further down the page. So classified, uniclass, common arrangement of work sections, for sort of large projects, small projects, you've got the primary uniclass classification. And then that structure here, detector type, power supply, etc., is the same structure that our technical authors have authored in NBS chorus. So there's the sort of detector type, power supply, etc. And that's been authored by our technical authors looking at the standards for the UK and putting in suggestions. So front and foremost, the most important thing on NBS source is that well-structured information. So moving on to part two, like what can you do with well-structured information? Now, the first thing you can do is you can filter down and find what you want much quicker. Like you might know you want to have like this exact product on a project, but if you don't, you're thinking of those sort of specification properties and taking a large number of items down to the items that suit your requirement. So if I search for a carpet tile here, we've got hundreds, thousands of carpet tiles on MBS source. So you see we've got 1,600 results found. By using the power of that structured data, you can now use the filters on the left-hand side to find exactly the carpet tile that meets your need. So I can jump from 1,600 results to 339 results by saying I want a pile carpet tile as opposed to a needled carpet tile or what have you. So that's jumped down to 339 results. We've got these sort of big filters at the top. So this one here has sustainability data. We're not in the business of saying this is a sustainable product, but we are saying the manufacturers put their sustainability credentials forward. So if I hover over that, we're saying that they must have either declared 4 environmental properties or have an EPD associated. So as I sort of tick this little box here, it drops from 360 products down to 242. So just the ones that have the sustainability information. I could then go further and say, look, I actually do want the full EPD certificate, and click here, and we've gone down to 131 carpet tiles now. Now, some of the latest improvements we've made here is both on the generic filters and the specific filters, which is new. So I could come down here and say I'd like a particular material, and these are all standardized now against those sort of Kobe property names or a particular shape. Let's say I want a square carpet tile. It's now dropped down to 102. But what's just gone live in the last month or so are what we call the specification filters. So if we have a little look here, the structure you see here are exactly the same technical characteristics, if I jump to chorus, as we see here. So style, material, luxury rating class. And as you click in here, these are using the values from inside the standards, LC1, LC2, LC3 to BSEN 1307, that our specification customers have when specifying generically. So what we've got over here is hundreds and hundreds of carpet tiles which have the same options that are specific to that Uniclass classification category of piled carpet tiles. So if I go to luxury rating class, I'm seeing LC1, 2, 3, and 4 as defined in the standard that we saw earlier in MBS Chorus. So if I drop down to, I must have a square carpet that's got LC1 sort of quality levels. It's now dropped down to 21 products. And I think originally we had maybe 12 manufacturers there. We've now dropped down to 4 manufacturers. So using the power of that technical data, well structured, so you can actually get down to the products that meet your need. And you could be a specifier that's picking a product, or you could be maybe on the contractor's side where you know what the generic spec is and you're wanting to filter down what's in the market to find solutions that meet the generic specification. You could be working for a client and looking across your estate for the next 2 or 3 years and picking products for your masters or what have you. But this allows you to do it really quickly because the data is well structured. The second thing you can do with well-structured data is compare different products together. So what I can do here is actually compare a product from Milliken with a product from Target, with a product from, let me find one more, Thermatex. So I've added all 3 of those to my little compare palette. And when I click compare products, you can see all sort of 3 together and just sort of scan across. And because these have all been presented to me through those filters, it's no surprise to see that all 3 have EPD certification. All 3 are square, so 500 by 500, come in varying heights, varying warranty lengths, but you've got all those square carpets, and you can see they've all got luxury rating class of LC1. As it happens, they've also got class 33 level of use as well, but you can just see that quality of data. Manufacturers will also want to add additional properties that maybe sort of distinguishes them from their competitors, and you can see the additional properties there over and above the NBS specification templates as well. Maybe don't quite have that consistency there. So you see for thermal resistance, you've got the manufacturer target and Thermatex just declaring that in different units and values. But for the MBS ones, we've sort of standardized them, the MBS defined ones. And we go right to the bottom of the page here. You always get that little environmental subsection as well. And because I picked products that had the environmental filter, they're quite well populated. So you see, like, where are you sourcing these from? United Kingdom, Netherlands. I watched the embodied carbon coming from A1 to A3 in the EPD, amount of recycled content, etc. So that again is just showing the power of the well-structured data. We just want to show something that's coming very soon, jumping across to our development server now. But we're just improving the filters even more. Got the manufacturer Thermatex, which I think is a good example here. But what you can see for the numeric values, we're now putting in little slider controls. So if I go something like the width of the carpet, or the length of the carpet is maybe a better example. I think this is especially important where you've got values which you've got decimal points and things, and you don't want to see loads and loads of checkboxes. You can quickly just sort of put the value in on the slider, and then the number of products will reduce based on that numeric filter. And the second numeric filter, just going to demonstrate here, is recycled content. So what I'm going to do here is just open that up, and I'll change that value of 55 to 60. And as I change that, you can use the slider control if you wanted. That updates the values to show just the filtered products that appear in that particular range. Finish off now, just show how you can quite easily add products from source into Chorus really quickly. But if I go to smoke alarm here and click in manufacturer, I want to see those same manufacturers on the right hand side. You can just sort of click that plus button, and it drops straight into the specification. And the other ways, you just sort of add it to the clipboard. So if I've done the search in source, and I've got the sort of tabulated view here, and I want to specify this particular carpet from target, you've got that add to spec button here in source as well. So you've copied it to the clipboard, go to Chorus, paste it in. So I jump across to Chorus, go to my pile carpet tile, and it's as simple as just coming in. You can do Control V. I'll do the right click, so it's obvious what I'm doing. But if I click paste now, it's going to take that square carpet tile from target and just drop it straight into the project spec. The one thing that you might have seen, let's just go to a radiator. Next to the sustainability checkbox, we also had a has BIM objects checkbox as well. Let's just clear the comparison. So there might have been 50 or 60 radiators there. When I click this checkbox, it's just going to show me the radiators that have BIM objects associated. So you can come find radiator, download the BIM object from here, just to show how that works in the latest Revit plugin that we've got. The latest Revit plugin that you see on the screen at the moment has both NBS Chorus and NBS Source. NBS Source is now what used to be called the National BIM Library. All of those BIM objects are just part of Source, don't have a separate website anymore. And if I search for radiator here, in Source, in the context of Revit, it's going to return like 140 products with the word radiator in. But if you just look at the filters here, it's pre-filtered to say, just show me the objects that have BIM objects. I'll take it down to the 37 radiators, and you're getting that same content, just like you did in Chorus with the spec content, the same BIM content here on that sort of right-hand side. But if I wanted to drop a radiator into this washroom, just grab a hold of it and pull it in. Let me just demonstrate that now. So I'm just going to come in and just activate this view, and I'm just going to drag this radiator from Hulvard here straight into that space. and you'll see the schedule, the elevation, the plan, all sort of update together here as I sort of drop that in there. So it's there in the radiator schedule, it's there on the elevation, and I think that's probably a little bit too far from the wall. And just sort of move that in there, and you spend a bit more time than that. But there's the radiator in the design, and we've got other webinars that show how the spec and the model can be coordinated, do annotations, etc. So that's all from me on the presentation on well-structured manufactured product data and what you can do with that well-structured data. We now move on to the next part of the webinar. So the second part of today's webinar is delivered by Peter Rhodes, National Sector Manager, Building Design at Dulux Trade, Dulux Decorator Centre. Dulux have been a long time NBS customer, NBS Plus, RIBA product selector, and now in NBS Source. And I think when we look through the sort of stats, they're like up there in the sort of probably top 3, if not top 1 or 2 manufacturers specified in the NBS system. So delighted today to hand over to Peter for his presentation. Over to you, Peter.
So hi, Stephen, and hi to everybody. I hope you're all well, and thank you for inviting me on today. So, as part of the AkzoNobel family, we're a global coatings manufacturer. Here in the UK, Dulux and our key brands such as Dulux Decorator Centre, Armstead, Sickins, Cuprinol, and Rye, some really well-known household brands. Also including the beautiful Dulux dog, who I can share with you is currently resting after having a litter of beautiful puppies. So, as a company, we have a really clear company purpose. It's people, planet, and paint. And it's at the heart of everything we do, because we have identified 3 critical global topics: climate change, circularity, health and well-being. And we have made a commitment to play our part in addressing them for the betterment of society. And behind the scenes, we also work very hard in ensuring we hold such things as BS 6001 for accreditation in responsible sourcing. We also have EPDs for the majority of our water-based paints used in the commercial sector. We also have made a commitment since 2012 to have 0 waste to landfill. And as AkzoNobel, we are signed up to the Science Based Targets Initiative. And we also have a strong carbon reduction plan in the format required in public sector work. And for us, something close to our heart, finally, our principal social value partner in the UK is a fantastic organisation called Volunteer Yourself. And they engage young people who are either not in education, employment, training, or at risk of becoming neat, and give them opportunities to learn DIY and painting skills. We get them to help refurbish things such as youth and community facilities, whilst also learning valuable vocational trade skills on the job. As you can see, we're really serious about doing the right thing, creating a true legacy. And as a company, Dulux Trade and the Dulux Decorator Centre provide a complete 360-degree service for all projects, from supporting specifiers in the design stage, to support and working with the main contractor, to the painting contractor, all the way to handover and ongoing maintenance. For ourselves, it's all about helping everybody involved in delivering a project, getting it right first time, maximising efficiencies, and minimising risk. And the specification is at the heart of everything we do, from new build projects through to refurbishments, cyclical decorations. And NBS is an absolutely critical platform for ourselves, allowing us to provide specification support for our team of over 50 technical specification managers, with things such as bespoke NBS specification writing, project collaboration, M16 finishing schedule checking, sustainability compliance in the provision of documents, design and colour consultancy, colour sample support, a really key one for a lot of architects, and on-site project support, which we also feel is critical, and also helping in the building of that life cycle model, because most buildings, they want to understand what it's going to cost over a 30-year period. So really crucial. And what I'd like to do now is take you through our profile in MBS, highlight the ease in how you can identify our coatings, those coatings which have the lower VOCs, lower carbon footprints, and also have those green building accreditations. I will then showcase some of our latest innovation, along with creating a specification, highlighting our collaborative specification writing expertise, which helps specifiers create really, really robust specifications. I would now like to take you through our profile on MBS, highlighting the ease in how you can identify our coatings, which have those lower carbon footprints, and also have those green building certifications, such as EPDs. Again, I will then showcase our latest innovation, along with creating specification highlighting our collaborative writing expertise, which helps specifiers create robust project specifications. So on our profile page, you can easily find all products, those third-party certifications, supporting literature, and case studies to help you make informed decisions on choosing the correct products. We can then drill down into our products, which all have clear and reliable information. A real favourite function of mine is how you can filter down those products which have those certifications and accreditations. And you will see here, we've got over 28 products with EPDs, which include the majority of our water-based paints used in those commercial environments. So now let's take a look at some new innovation. New Diamond Matte, our most durable, stain-resistant coating, which now contains our significant innovation of air-shield technologies. And it's 99% VOC-free to improve indoor air quality. And it is both BREEAM and LEED compliant, along with having an IAC gold certification. Because for ourselves, it's extremely important that we provide all the information specifiers require to allow you to make informed choices for your projects, including those certifications, data sheets, BIM objects, and specification guides. So now, what I'd like to do now is jump on and create a specification using New Diamond Matte, where I want to showcase we're utilising our expertise and support specifiers in creating specifications that are fit for purpose. Here's a project we created earlier, so we'll click through onto the painting specification. We've already decided it will be a waterborne painting system, so we go to the company masters. We then add in Diamond Matte to the specification as the customer requires BREEAM accredited durable paint system. So now we go back to the project. We add back in now New Diamond Matte to the specification. Once we've done that, we will then add the correct application clauses for the appropriate substrate. And as you can see here, once we jump onto it, we have multiple execution clauses, because we firmly believe it is important to have the right application method for the right substrate. And as you can see here, we have them for new plaster coat, previously painted surface, along with applying things like that. So what we'll do now is we'll just delete the execution clauses we don't want, because all we want is one for new plasterboard. Just start to delete them now. Because for ourselves, having the correct execution clause ensures that it supports the specifier in knowing that the correct application procedure will be used by those what's on site. So we'll just delete the clauses we do not need. And then we will go back to adding in the correct finishing system to the spec. And at this time, We will also add in some additional clauses around things such as correct handling, paint signs, and British standard references to also ensure that the applier uses the correct process. Again, in ourselves, it's all about best practice. And we add these to all specifications we write or specifiers in MBS. So as you can see here, go into the application system. We add that straight away into the specification. And as you can see now, we're just going to add in those best practice and execution clauses as well into the specification. Because one thing we do find is quite often we get asked by specifiers, or we approach specifiers when supporting them in their project, to us invite us into that project, because we can write that specification for you under your guidance and directly then add it into your overall project. Because after all, for me, we are the experts in what we do, so let us help all specifiers make life easier. Because it's interesting, we're talking there about the correct execution clauses. Just recently, I was supporting a major large practice on a complex project, which had many different substrates. By splitting the specification out into those different substrates, along with the relevant execution clauses, really helped the specifier know that once the specification was in the hands of the applier, they knew that the correct application method would be used on the appropriate substrate, which ultimately will help reduce risk once they're on site. So what we're doing now is we've just published the specification, just waiting for that to download, and then that's it. It's that simple. Our specification is now created for the project, and as you'll see in a moment, all the relevant products and application information is there exactly how the specifier needs it. Something that we're really keen to share with everybody today, and something we're incredibly proud of, is our new specification services hub on the Dulux Decorator Centre website. This hub has been specifically designed for specifiers who require support for different specification guidance across various sectors. A key thing for us, and really importantly, we've also integrated MBS Source to allow specifiers to view the products in a language they prefer. And it also allows them to add the products directly into the specifications. And some of the other resources we've also built into the hub are specification guidance by sector, sustainability compliance documents, they're all there, that everybody can download immediately. Design and colour consultancy along with advice. Colour sample supply and a facility to be able to order those colour samples. Inclusive colour and design digital tools to really help designers build those specifications. Innovative digital specification tools. So again, just helping all specifiers create really robust specifications. And we also have generic MBS specifications by sector. And there is also a facility to view our REBA CPDs and go ahead and book them. So for me, I'd really like to thank everybody today for their time. And I hope the information that we've provided and we've talked about has been really useful, because we're really, really keen and happy to assist you with your next project and really look forward to working with you soon. So I'd implore anybody to have a look at the new specification services, so contact us directly from there or personally reach out to me myself. Thank you for your time today, Stephen, and everybody.
So fantastic presentation. Thank you, Peter. You started talking about sort of the sustainability aspects. Are you seeing that coming more and more over recent years in terms of client requests for that sustainability information?
Yeah, it's a great question, that, Stephen. I mean, you know, I've been with the business now for 7 years, and even during my tenure, sustainability has always been top of mind and a real key need for specifiers. But recently now, it is an expected demand. And for ourselves, that's why we heavily invest in those accreditations and certifications, because it just allows specifiers then to go, okay, have BREEAM, I'm going for BREEAM exemplary in my project. We have the suite of products that will allow them to do that quite simply, but also ensure they're getting the performance requirements they need, because it's not just about the initial decoration, it's also about reducing carbon and having that building looking better, minimizing maintenance.
And I guess maybe the difference today compared to 3 or 4 years ago is the backup of that third-party certification with the EPDs as well.
Yeah, you know, EPDs now, that's why, you know, on MBS we have them, on our specification services hub we have them, because it just allows specifiers to have them there instantly when they need them. And that then gives them the confidence to know that the product they're specifying is the right one for the customer and the project needs. It's really crucial.
And what's interesting, we've got a lot of products on MBS which are like standalone products, but there's other products that you can't just sort of add by themselves. They connect with other products. It's the preparation, it's making sure execution's there. They come together as a system that performs. That's especially important for something like paint, I imagine.
It really is, and that's why, you know, we work with specifiers closely and collaboratively, because it's not just about adding a paint for walls. You know, as we were talking about during my presentation, it's the execution details, it's the whole system, because that way then it's going to, like I say, it's going to minimize risk, it's going to maximize efficiency and keep that building looking better for longer, because it's going to ensure the performance of the product is there. So no, for ourselves, the systems and the execution details are absolutely critical. When people work with us collaboratively and specifiers reach out to us, they don't see that, because it's not always something that they would automatically think about.
And when you're talking about the team you've got in terms of specification support, was it 40 or 50? Are you getting requests in on a weekly basis, daily basis, even, just to sort of give side-by-side collaborative support using Chorus now?
Yeah, absolutely. As you say, I mean, there's a team of 50, over 50 actually, that work purely in specification, whether that is on-site technical support, writing specifications, working closely with specifiers and developing their specification masters. You know, there's a whole team there that wherever anybody is in the country, we will have that local support. And we've seen a rise twofold in both requests coming through by specifiers directly to collaborate in MBS, but also when we've built that collaborative relationship, then asking us to further support them on site with projects. You know, once it gets to site, if they're having problems, we're able to get out there and absolutely support them with all their needs. So, you know, it's both digital support and, for me, the in-person support as well. As it's highly valuable.
Now, it's been really good to do this webinar. I remember one of the reasons when we were first talking that I wanted to do this was because one of our very first webinars on Chorus, I think it was Chris Dixon, an architect from Franklin Ellis, and he was telling the story about how he'd been inviting the Dulux team in and helping them write the spec 3 or 4 years ago when Chorus first came out. So it's nice 3 or 4 years later to do one sort of side by side with yourself. So thanks for your time today, Peter. And a reminder to anybody sort of watching the webinar today, please put any sort of questions in and we'll send those on to Peter and his team to answer. So thank you very much.
Please reach out to us anytime. And you know, for ourselves, MBS is that true partnership. So thank you for your support.
So that's the end of today's webinar. Please pop a message in the chat if you want to know more. Visit thembs.com if you'd like to know more about how MBS can help specifiers, help manufacturers collaborate more. So one side of the website's all about Chorus, other side of the website's all about MBS Source. We both obviously come together really tightly. Any questions also, feel free, drop an email through as well. So thank you very much.